everyone, welcome to my Facebook page and this video that is going out on Facebook Live about spirit animals and how you may meet them as your guides and helpers. I was overwhelmed when I put a post out about spirit animals, spirit guides, or what's also called power animals, because many of you, it touched a chord with many of you. And many of you were contacting me, asking me afterwards, can I please help you understand how you might be able to actually contact your own spirit helpers that are animals in the spirit world. It seems that the animal kingdom is so loving, isn't it? And, you know, it goes beyond ego, doesn't it? Those loving animals. Hello, John. Hello, Helena. Seeing you all building up. Wonderful to see you. Click your hearts or your like buttons for me so I can see that you're all able to see me okay and you're receiving this. Hi, Susan. Yeah, our animals in the spirit world and here are so loving that whereas humans can be quite mean, can't they? Animals just give unconditional love, and it seems that many of you really want to know about how you can connect in with the animal kingdom. So I know a few of you will be joining this video now, and for all of you going to be watching when you catch up later as it goes out onto my feed, I just want to say thank you for joining me once again, giving me your time, and I just hope this video is informative. So if there's anything that you want to know from me as we go along, please feel free to ask questions. Keep hitting your like button so that I can see you're interacting with me, and thank you very much. And then it'll go swimmingly. Now, just before I start this short lesson with you, look at this little guy here. I don't know if you can see him. This is my otter that was given to me by a lovely student of mine, and oh, that's a lovely picture. A lovely student of mine gave me that otter because she read Answers from Heaven, where I write about how to meet your spirit animals, and she bought me that lovely little guy there. Now, the thing is, I don't have a name for him, so I had the idea that maybe as we go along this evening, if you have any inspiration whilst you see him sitting there patiently watching me, you might be able to also suggest a name for my lovely otter, because that would be just wonderful too. Anyway, so let's get stuck in. Spirit animals. Now, the thing is, we are spirit. If you are consciousness, if you are aware, then you are a eternal being. You are energy. And so our animals, animal kingdom is exactly the same. They are sentient, conscious beings. And so therefore, they also go on into spirit. Now, when you think about it, the love that an animal can bring you is like none other. And when you have, I'm sure if you've had dogs, cats, other pets in your life, you'll also understand when I talk about the fact that they give us an unconditional love and protection that we don't get from humans. And humans can be very loving too, but the animal kingdom has its own special place in our hearts. Now, here, when you think about animals, they look after us. We have guide dogs who even help the blind see. We have dogs just that look after and protect their owners, in the same way that I've heard many times actually that cats also protect their owners. That unconditional love that they give because they are a pack animal or want to be in a group, just absolutely giving and loving. Why would that be any different in the spirit world? It isn't. As they give to us here, when they move across into the afterlife, they still have that same connection of love, that bond with us, and they come around and they want to be with us and help us. So many of you will probably have animals in the spirit world that you are maybe not aware of coming around you. If you do have any, I'll keep my eye on the list here on the video. You can chime in and let me know if you're already aware of those in the spirit world animals that come around you. But many of you aren't aware, obviously, because you are asking me to do a video on this. So I want you to know first and foremost that we are consciousness. The spirit animal kingdom is for real, and that because we are energy, consciousness, awareness, however you want to term it, as they come close to us in their energy state and their light state, we can feel their influence and we can continue to have some kind of relationship with them. Now, some of your pets may come and choose to want to look after you, but then there's also a whole load of other animals, obviously, in the animal kingdom whose influence can come around you, help you, guide you, protect you, and educate you. And that's what I really want to get into tonight, because I think that's the thing that you all really want to know. Hello Tony, hello Jodie. It's lovely seeing all these comments coming up. Just keep them coming. I love to hear from you guys, because this page is all about you and about us creating a beautiful community together where we can come together, learn, ask questions and seek spiritual enlightenment. So, shamanism, the practice of journeying, is such an old ancient tradition in the world, and power animals, where this concept comes from of spirit animals coming back to help us, has been around for thousands of years. Those in tribal communities, those who work with shamanic practices, have known forever that our loving animals and the animal kingdom come around us to help us to learn, to grow and to evolve humanity, I actually believe. So I first came into contact with the concept of spirit animals and spirit guides. It wasn't actually in my mind, actually, in my 20s. I'd never even considered it. In fact, you know, I grew up with no pets, so I wasn't really an animal person. But I have told you all before that my main guide, teacher in the spirit world, is a person called White Feather. And he was Native American when he was incarnation here. And so he brings with him his shamanic practice. Let me just have a look. Claire has wasps and bees. Joyce Mason, here's wasps and bees. Let me know that Stephen is around, and David has a robin that follows him. Wasps and bees. Well, I hadn't even considered that side. That's not part of my heaven, but if wasps and bees is part of yours, Joyce, that's wonderful. I'm sure they're all there. They've all got their place. So I wasn't really aware of the spirit world in the animal sense in my 20s until one evening I sat in Hampton Hill Spiritualist Church in a circle with my teacher Sheila Thomas and my very loving circle members around me, and we went into a meditation. And in that meditation, I really did get transported out of myself. I must have gone very deep. And suddenly I was somewhere completely different with White Feather, my Native American guide. And I was aware of a lady coming close to me. I was around a fire. And she was definitely a shaman in the spirit world. She was very abrupt, very powerful, very little, very intimidating. And this was so real to me, like a lucid dream, except I was wide awake and I could see it all. And I was told that through the fire flames that were coming up, to watch the animals, and that I was to choose an animal that was to help me. And that was my first introduction to power animals, and that's where I first saw my otter. I'm very sorry to hear, Tony, you lost your dog last year. Bless you. You know, you didn't really lose them. It's around, but I know exactly what you mean. So anyway, so the otter came into my life, and what I learned from that is otter is very playful, and I was very intense in my 20s. I was on a mission to try and change the world. I was, you know, like 20-year-olds often are. Nothing was right, everything needed changing. I was very intense, very stressed, and I just had to, I'm reading your comments at the same time as talking to you, apologies. I had to really learn to chill out, and the otter had come to me through this meditation, through the influence of White Feather and being shown shamanic practice, to show me that animal medicine is for real, and that they come close to counterbalance my personality. So the otter was playful and I needed a bit of that. So what's that, Alan? I wonder if dogs belong to a group soul. Well, that's very deep. Do you know, I think they probably do. So we have soul groups, so they say, that we move in groups of, say, family and friends who have been in spirit together before or in lifetimes before, and then we come back into physical form together to work through and to grow and to evolve together again, so that we can all the while just keep finding ourselves back to what's total's self-realization, back to source, back to universal consciousness. And you know, that's a really interesting point, Alan, because I am sure that dogs and other animals who are intelligent must be part of that if they touch our lives. They've come to us for a reason, to bring us healing, to awaken us, to wake us up to a greater reality. I love that. Now, I understand, says Vanessa, that my power animal is a monkey. That's a great one, Vanessa. I'm quite jealous. I'd love a monkey, actually, do you know? Because, again, cheeky, playful, fast, you know, quick. All those things you must be needing. So that monkey is coming to you to bring you that aspect of themselves, to counterbalance your personality, to balance your energies. Everything in the universe is an energy. We are energy. And so all of this that I'm talking about is archetypal in a way. In the spirit world, we probably don't need to take any of these forms. We are pure spirit, but it's the essence, it's the frequency and the energy of that animal that's coming to us to bring those teachings to us without getting too deep. So how do you find out then about your own animal, which is what everybody wants to know? How do we learn when the animal spirit is around us? There you are, Leslie. I've just said it and your comment has flashed up in front of me. So how do you learn? How do you have that relationship? Here's the thing. It's quite tedious in a way. But the first thing that you have to do, as I always say, is start a meditation practice, okay? Because you have to get in touch with your own spirit within first. And the only way to do that is to still your mind. And many people say to me, I can't meditate, I haven't got the time, I can't concentrate, my chatter's all there. That's all of us. And I want you to know that even now, after 20 years of meditation practice, my mind still jumps into. But there will become moments in time with practice. That's why it's called a spiritual practice, because we have to keep doing it like exercise, where you will get those moments of stillness and the spirit world can inspire you. So you may find that through a visualization, you may be following a visualization, and then suddenly there's an animal there that you hadn't imagined, that you hadn't been thinking about as part of your visualization, and yet it's come into your visualization. And that animal, just be with it. Ask it if you can what it's there for, but if not, just allow that meditation to unfold in front of you without judgment. When you come back out of your meditation, that's when you can look the animal up online, and there are many resources available, many wonderful books on power animals, and you can see the meaning behind it. But hopefully in your meditation the animal will let you know why it's with you. Now that will be obviously not through language. You won't hear words. You will have an inner knowing. You will feel that connection. You will feel the spirit of the animal and their intellect and their power, literally their personality and the essence of what they bring. So perhaps if it's a wolf, it'll be of protection and wiliness, and if it's a tiger, obviously that's intimidation, power. You know, there's whatever the animal is, they're going to be bringing that essence of themselves to you, and that will have meaning. So jot these meditations down if you're lucky enough to see an animal during your meditation. And I want you to just know that even 5 minutes of meditation once a week, you know, wherever you need to do it, just even if it's sitting down in the garden for 5 minutes or on a walk, walking the dog, or you just make it part of your life, because you start to still the mind, and then you can attune yourself to the wider environment and universe around you. So meditation's the first thing. But that's not the only place that spirit animals can make connection with you. They also may come to you in dreams. Because why? Because when we're asleep, again, ego, conscious mind is still. We're in the dream state, which is exactly what shamans, aborigines talk about. Dream time is when we journey out of the conscious mind and into the superconscious mind, into the subconscious, where anything is possible. And so whilst we're dreaming, it might well be that we get an animal come to us. And then you need to be able to actually work out, when you wake up, quickly write it down so you can remember it. I'm just having a look. Is there a difference between a daydream and a meditation vision? Yes and no. See, a daydream isn't a fully conscious activity. As we go into a daydream, the brain waves in our brain change. We shift state of awareness, the brain wave patterns actually shift, and we go into almost like a sleep state in a daydream. So you quite often don't know you're daydreaming, do you, until you suddenly realise, oh, I went off there. And so there's no conscious element of it particularly. It's a bit like a daydream. Literally, you're dreaming, you're not conscious of it. But in meditation, you are fully aware. This is the beauty of meditation. You know, it's just as restful, did you know that, as a good night's sleep? It is just as good for us, except the thing is that we are fully conscious and can remember everything in a meditation. So that's why it's preferable to a daydream. Of course, if you get an animal in a daydream, pay attention to it, because they've been able to get through to you that way. Kim, thank you so much. You bought my book today. Oh, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy it, and let me know how you get on with it, because I just love hearing from you all, so thank you. So dreams is a big one, and again, it's probably for those of you that find that you can't still your mind, the spirit world will definitely use dreams, daydreams, or any way that they can get to you when your mind is still. Now, of course, the other way is the way almost that I learned, which is through mediumship. So we are all mediums, can I just say that? Some of us may well be able to do it professionally and become very proficient at it, but at the end of the day, we all have a body, we all have a brain, and we all are receptors, constantly interacting with our environment around us. Our physical body acts as the medium through which we perceive everything, through our nerves, through our senses. We are all mediums. So don't think that you can't do it. You absolutely can. And through mediumship, obviously, is another way to meet a power animal. Finding a practice where you open up to spirit and learn how to do that. And I will do another video on that at another time, opening and closing. But basically, that is what I'm getting at, is opening your mind and then closing your mind back to everyday reality. So you may choose to go and visit a medium at some point. Many of you already have, obviously, because you're following me. And a medium may well say that they are seeing an animal around you. Now, the thing about this, I'm just going to read this comment. I dreamt of my dog that I had to put to sleep a few months ago. I miss him every day. Would someone have come to get him? I still love him. Oh, Sarah, absolutely. So first of all, lots of love to your lovely dog. All these beautiful souls, they are beings. They never pass on their own. They would be greeted by your loved ones, and they will move into the spirit world. And into doggy heaven, literally. You see, the thing about dogs and animals, which is different to humans, is that they don't have an ego. They don't have a mind that brings about suffering for them. The only time they suffer really is when in the physical world someone else causes their suffering, or something natural happens that causes their suffering. But for a dog, they are pure consciousness. They're not having a conversation like we do in our minds. So when they move into spirit, they move into the light easily and gracefully. They just go with it, and then they do return, because they are so loyal, Sarah. They will be definitely, your lovely dog will be popping in to see you, and don't you worry, he will have been met, or she will have been met. Sorry, I don't think I read that properly, and being embraced. So I'm waiting for you. One day you will see your lovely dog again. I have absolutely no doubts, and the reason I have no doubts is many a time in readings I see people's loved ones, and there's many animal communicators on this page as well. Tina Reid and San Munro, if you see their names, they are experts in this. They have an affinity with animals and are able to communicate with them. So you can always ask that advice, their advice. But going back to an actual power animal as opposed to your loved ones, spirit animals, the power animal obviously is coming in with a message for you. So a medium may well bring that animal in to give you the message for your soul evolvement and evolution. So it may be that a particular animal comes around you, just like a spirit teacher would for a while, to bring the essence of themselves whilst you grow and evolve in spirit. Because we're in spirit here in this material playground that we're in, and so the animal is coming to help you from that side of life whilst you grow here. So we've got meditation, we've got dreams, and we've got mediums. Now you may also, depending on if you are very lucky to know a psychic artist, you may also be lucky enough to have your animal drawn for you. So that is another route that you may choose to go down. And finally, and probably most importantly for most people in their lives, you have to look out for the signs. I always talk about signs. In Answers from Heaven, we wrote about the signs all the time, because a spirit animal will come to you and get your attention in every way possible, and that's also through the physical material world. So you may find in your everyday life that a particular animal or creature is turning up in everything. I remember someone telling me that theirs was an octopus, which was just amazing to me, and they saw octopuses everywhere, on the sides of vans, on cushions, on jewellery, and they said to me, you'll be amazed how many octopuses are on everything out there. But the octopus was bringing, it's a spiritual symbolism with octopus, for that lady, because she knew then that it had meaning. So you might see them on plates, you might see them on tea towels. Wherever you look, it might be that animal is calling to you. It sounds really funny, it sounds crazy, but it isn't crazy, because what you need to realise is our universe is conscious. And so those thoughts, those teachings are coming to us in energy from every which way they can if they're trying to get through to us. And they'll use your mind, your awareness, to draw your attention to those particular things, to use it as a calling card and to get your attention, okay? So pay attention to how many times an animal just appears in real form, on plates, in clothes, everything. You will start to feel an affinity with that power animal. You'll start to realise, hey, this animal shows up all the time in my life. And you start to feel a sentimental value with them. And these things are subtle. This is the thing. This is the language of spirit. You can't prove it scientifically. You have to know it within you. You have to realise that the universe is communicating to you all the time, and the animal kingdom is one of the ways in which it can do that. You are a part of that universe, and that has to come in subtle ways, and you have to be open-minded to just receiving those signs. And really, the crux of all of this is, how does it help you? Ultimately, what's the point in all this spiritual stuff if it doesn't help you? It needs to be practical. I really feel like you have to ground it and make it practical in everyday life. And if you need the message of that animal, if that animal's reminding you of something that you need and it's going to help you, then if it's helpful, giving you strength, giving you inspiration, giving you motivation, pointing you forward, then, you know, what's the harm in that? That's a real thing that's helping you manage your life and get through your life. Life is tough. Life is a challenge. And we have not just spirit animal helpers, but we have obviously spirit beings helping us all the time. And we can use that help if we ask for it. We must ask for it, because neither the animal kingdom in the spirit world or the spirit guides and helpers are going to come and railroad you and take your choices away from you. You have free will. You are a creative being. You are spirit yourself. You have to ask for that help. So when many of you have asked me, how do I meet my own animals? There isn't one way or another. You have to be open to the many ways. Try and see what works for you. My absolute number one thing out of all of what I've talked about tonight would be start a meditation process. And it doesn't have to be a visualization. It could be anything from just one conscious breath in and out and realizing that your mind is stilling. Sometimes I listen to music. There's some great music on YouTube. I listen to music that's got very repetitive notes in it. Just listen to that until my mind quietens down, and then it becomes much more still. And don't worry if you can't quieten the mind completely. You do this and you will start to become in tune with yourself. You begin to open the third eye, and you begin then to receive insights. So it doesn't come overnight. It's not necessarily easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is it? So I would encourage you, for all of you that said to me, please do a video, please let me know how I can meet my spirit animals, my spirit guides. These are my main tips. Anything else that you want to know, I did write in answers, but there again are some really in-depth resources out there on the internet. So have a look, find out what works for you. So if there's any other questions, please put them through to me now. I don't know if any of you mentioned or have thought of a name for my otter yet, but if you are able to do that, that'll be wonderful. I also want to talk about the fact that I've got my YouTube channel now, and so I've got so many wonderful people following me on this page. I would really appreciate if you could just go and subscribe to my channel as well, because I'm going to do a lot of videos on there, short videos that are informative to help you about mediumship. And I'm just looking at this. Is it possible for another person's power animal to appear during a reading? Yes, it is, but only Oscar. Love that. Oscar for the otter. Liking it. Keep them coming. It is possible, but only if there's meaning in it for you. So there wouldn't be any point in someone else's power animal coming to you in a reading if there wasn't significance. So if a medium talks about a power animal and they're talking about someone else's power animal, I hope the medium recognises that. If the medium hasn't recognised it, but you recognise it, then there will be reason behind it. So always look up the reasons. You know, our spirit teachers talk in cryptic ways. They talk in parables. They talk in symbolism. This is mysticism, guys. It is so amazing, the intelligence in the universe. So when you get given something, look it up. Google it. Get books on it. Dive in and you will find it leads you to a lot of knowledge. And just one little symbolism, one little image will lead you right down the rabbit hole to a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much for this video, sending blessings and love. Oh, thank you, Faye, that is so lovely. Oh, Ollie, I like in that, Julie. Yes, I'm thinking of Oscar, Ollie. We've got two O names. There's a otter theme with O's here, isn't there? Right, so I think I've covered everything. Like I said, please do visit my YouTube channel. Keep interacting with me here on this page. I really hope this video has been informative. I've got so much exciting stuff to do that I want to share with you all. I'm so motivated and so passionate about normalising this topic and getting it out there so that people understand that even that which we don't understand, like mediumship, like spirit, like consciousness, we can still have a relationship, we can still know it, and we can know it's natural and real. Otto, Orson. Oh, these names are awesome, Orson. Okay, so I'm going to give my love to you. Keep coming with the names. Keep interacting with me. I shall be back soon for another live video. I just want to thank you so much for giving me your time. Let me have your feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. And I'm just going to send you so much love because I really appreciate this community that we've got. Thanks, guys.